If you feel something down there, that simply will not come out. No matter how long you wait, no matter what you try, I need you to stay right here. Because what I'm about to share with you today could change your mornings, your comfort, and honestly, your quality of life. Here is what most people do not know. That stuck, painful, won't budge feeling is not just constipation. It has a name, it has a specific mechanism, and it has a set of targeted solutions that most doctors never take the time to explain. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what is happening inside your body, and you will have 6 strategies you can start using today. Before we go any further, I want to hear from you. Drop your first name and your age in the comments right now. Tell me how long you have been dealing with this. You would be amazed how many people are watching this right now, feeling the exact same thing. You are not alone. And please hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss a video that could genuinely help you. What is actually happening? The real diagnosis. Let me start with something that will probably surprise you. Most people, including many of my patients when they first come to see me, use the word constipation as a catch-all term. Difficult to go, constipation. Haven't gone in days, constipation. Feel like something is right there but won't move, also constipation. But those last 2 situations are actually describing something more specific. Something called fecal retention, or in more advanced cases, fecal impaction. And treating them the wrong way, the way you treat ordinary constipation, can actually make things significantly worse. Here is the anatomy that most people have never been taught. Your large intestine is essentially a water absorption machine. As waste travels through it, the intestine is constantly pulling water out, gradually forming solid stool. By the time that stool reaches the final section called the rectum, it should be formed, but still soft enough to pass comfortably. The rectum is not a simple tube. It has a very specific shape, almost like a sharp curve. And sitting upright at a standard 90 direct angle on a modern toilet actually creates a muscular pinch caused by a muscle called the puborectalis that holds that curve in place. When you're walking around, this is helpful. This muscle keeps everything inside where it belongs. But when you're trying to release, that same muscle is working against you. It creates a partial blockage at the exit point. That is the anatomical reality that nobody tells you. And it explains why millions of people are straining at nothing. Not because something is medically wrong with them, but because they are fighting their own anatomy. Now here's where it gets more serious. When stool sits in the rectum too long, whether because of that muscular kink or dehydration or slow transit, the large intestine continues to do its job. It keeps absorbing water. And as more water is pulled out, the stool becomes harder, drier, more compacted. And harder stool is harder to pass, which means it sits longer, which means more water is absorbed. You can see how this cycle becomes a real problem. In seniors, this cycle is especially common and especially dangerous because the natural muscle contractions that move waste through the intestine slow down with age. Medications commonly prescribed to older adults, including blood pressure drugs, pain medications, iron supplements, and certain antidepressants, all tend to slow the gut even further. And many older adults are mildly dehydrated throughout the day without realizing it. One study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that fecal impaction, the most severe form of this problem, accounts for nearly 55% of fecal incontinence cases in older adults. Think about that. What appears as a leakage problem is often a blockage problem. Liquid stool seeps around a hardened mass that cannot be passed. Doctors who don't look carefully enough treat only the symptom and miss the actual cause entirely. So now you understand what's actually happening. But here is the question that matters most. What specifically is causing this in your body? And what is the single fastest thing you can do about it? That answer is in the next part. And one of the solutions is so simple, you are going to wish someone had told you decades ago. The 6 strategies, starting with the one that surprises everyone. Strategy number 1 is not a medication. It is not a supplement. It costs almost nothing. And when I tell my patients about it, about half of them laugh and then come back 2 weeks later to tell me it changed everything. It's a foot tool. I am completely serious. Remember that puborectalis muscle I mentioned? The one that creates a kink and works against you when you're sitting upright? When you raise your knees above the level of your hips, that muscle relaxes. The angle of the rectum straightens and what was stuck suddenly has a clear, unobstructed path. This is not a wellness trend. This is biomechanics. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Gastroenterology demonstrated that squatting or a squat-like position, knees elevated, resulted in significantly shorter defecation time, less straining, and a more complete emptying of the rectum compared to the standard seated position. You don't need to buy anything fancy. A small step stool about 6 to 9 inches high, placed in front of your toilet. That is it. Use it every single time. The difference for many people is felt within the first use. If you're still watching and this information is helping you, type the number 2 in the comments right now. I read every single comment. And if this is news to you, you are exactly who this channel is for. Now, the footstool addresses the mechanical problem, but there is a biological problem that has to be addressed at the same time. And this one lives inside the stool itself. Strategy 2, hydration, but not the way you think. I know you've heard drink more water 1,000 times, but bear with me because the mechanism here is specific to this problem and the timing matters in a way most people don't realize. The large intestine absorbs water from waste as it passes through. If you are well hydrated, the stool arrives in the rectum soft and manageable. If you are dehydrated, even mildly, the intestine pulls extra water from the stool, leaving something that resembles a dry brick. Here is the part most people miss. Improving hydration today will not instantly soften stool that is already compacted in your rectum. That stool has already been processed. What hydration does is prevent the next load from becoming equally hard. For immediate help with what is already stuck, the tool is warm liquid first thing in the morning. A full glass of warm water, not cold or warm herbal tea. Warm liquids trigger something called the gastrocolic reflex, a signal from your stomach to your intestines that says something is coming in. Start moving things out. This reflex is strongest in the morning. Using warm liquid to amplify it is one of the most clinically reliable morning interventions I know that handles the mechanical side and the hydration side. But the third strategy targets something almost no one talks about, and it works at the level of the stool's actual composition. Strategy 3. The right fiber in the right form. There are two types of fiber, and this distinction matters enormously when stool is stuck. Soluble fiber dissolves in water and forms a gel inside the digestive tract. That gel coats the stool, lubricates the passage, and holds moisture inside, keeping things soft. You find it in oats, apples, pears, psyllium husk, and legumes. Insoluble fiber does not dissolve. It adds physical bulk. It pushes things through. You find it in vegetables, whole grains, and wheat bran. When stool is already stuck, you actually want to lead with soluble fiber, not insoluble. Adding bulk to something that is already compacted can increase the pressure without softening the mass. Think of it like trying to push a dry cork through a narrow bottle by stuffing more material behind it. Two foods stand out in the clinical literature specifically for rectal stool retention in older adults. First, prunes or dried plums. Prunes contain a specific compound called sorbitol, a natural sugar alcohol that draws water into the intestine osmotically, essentially pulling moisture toward the stool from the surrounding tissue. They also contain dihydroophenolaten, a natural compound that stimulates intestinal contractions. A 2011 randomized controlled trial published in Elementary Pharmacology and Therapeutics found that prunes were significantly more effective than psyllium husk for improving stool frequency and consistency in adults with chronic constipation. Second, kiwi fruit. 2 kiwis per day, ideally with the skin. Research published in the American Journal of Gastroenterology found that daily kiwi consumption improved stool consistency and frequency as effectively as psyllium, with fewer side effects and better tolerability in older adults. Those are 3 strategies that build on each other. But strategy 4 is the one that tends to catch people completely off guard because it has nothing to do with what you eat or drink. It is about something you are doing or not doing every single day. Stay with me. Strategy 4. Walk before you go. The intestinal wall is lined with its own independent nervous system, sometimes called the second brain. Researchers in gastroenterology use the term enteric nervous system to describe the 500 million nerve cells embedded in your gut lining. This system controls muscle contractions that move waste through the intestine, and it responds directly to physical movement. When your body is in motion, walking, stretching, even light housework, the enteric nervous system receives signals that speed up intestinal contractions. When you sit still for hours, those same contractions slow to a crawl. For older adults dealing with stool retention, a 15 to 20-minute brisk walk immediately after breakfast is one of the most evidence-supported behavioral interventions available. It combines two powerful effects: the gastrocolic reflex triggered by eating and the intestinal stimulation triggered by movement. Together, they create a natural pressure wave that moves waste toward the rectum. I had a patient, I will call him Mr. Gerald, 71 years old, retired, spent most of his morning in his recliner with coffee and the newspaper. He was going every 3 to 4 days, and each time was a significant ordeal. We added one change, a 20-minute walk after breakfast. Within 3 weeks, he was going comfortably every morning. He told me it felt like flipping a switch he didn't know he had. If you're still here and strategy 4 has you thinking, type the number 4 in the comments below. I want to know which of these strategies is clicking for you. Your comment genuinely helps other people find this video. Movement matters, but strategy 5 addresses something that cannot be fixed with a walk or a prune because it is a problem that has developed over years quietly through a habit that feels completely harmless. Strategy 5. Stop overriding the urge. Your rectum has stretch receptors, nerve endings that fire a signal to your brain the moment stool enters and the rectal walls begin to expand. That signal is what you recognize as the urge. It is your body saying the timing is right, go. Now here is what most people don't know. That signal has a window. If you acknowledge it and respond, your body will coordinate a full evacuation. If you ignore it because you're busy, because you're not at home, because you'd prefer to wait, the signal fades. The rectal muscles adjust to the presence of the stool. The urge quiets and the stool sits. Do this repeatedly for months or years, and those stretch receptors become desensitized. The threshold for triggering the urge rises. You may stop feeling a clear urgent signal at all, which means stool accumulates in the rectum without your body telling you to release it. Doctors call this rectal hyposensitivity, and it is one of the most common and least discussed contributors to chronic stool retention in older adults. The solution sounds almost too simple. Respond to the urge when it comes every time. Even if you're at a restaurant, even if you're at a friend's home, every time you respond, you reinforce the signal pathway. Every time you ignore it, you weaken it. If the urge has already become dull, you can begin to rebuild it through scheduled bathroom time. Sit on the toilet with your footstool in place for 10 to 15 minutes each morning after breakfast when the gastrocolic reflex is naturally strongest. Do not strain, do not force. Simply be present, breathe slowly, and give your body the opportunity. Within several weeks of consistent practice, many patients find the morning reflex returns. That covers the behavioral and lifestyle strategies. But there is a sixth strategy, and this one is for when things have already progressed, when the stool is right there and you need relief. Today, I'm going to give you the clinical options, the ones your doctor might suggest. And more importantly, I'm going to tell you which ones to avoid. Strategy 6. Save short-term relief when you're already stuck. Let me be direct with you here. This is the part of the video where I want to speak plainly, because people make mistakes in this situation often out of desperation that cause real harm. What to use? Polyethylene glycol, sold over the counter under names like Mirax, is currently the most well-supported first-line option for stool retention in older adults. It works by drawing water into the colon, osmotically softening the stool from within. It is tasteless, dissolves in water or juice, and is safe for most adults to use occasionally. Studies in the American Journal of Gastroenterology have confirmed its effectiveness and tolerability in older populations. Glycerin suppositories work locally in the rectum. They draw fluid directly into the rectal area and stimulate the urge reflex, often producing results within 15 to 30 minutes. When stool is retained specifically in the rectum and feels close but unmovable, a glycerin suppository is often the most targeted and fastest acting option available without a prescription. What to avoid? Stimulant laxatives, particularly Senna and Bicotal, are widely used and widely misunderstood. Used occasionally, they are acceptable. Used regularly, they can damage the nerves of the intestinal wall through a process called enteric neuropathy, progressively reducing the gut's ability to move stool on its own. One study in Gut Journal found long-term stimulant laxative use was associated with measurable changes in colonic nerve function. The very thing people take for relief can over time deepen the problem they are trying to solve. Straining harder is not a strategy. I want to say this clearly. Forceful, prolonged straining raises the pressure inside the abdomen and the rectum in ways that contribute to hemorrhoids, anal fissures, and in some cases, a condition called rectal prolapse, where a portion of the rectal wall protrudes outward. None of these complications are trivial. All of them are avoidable. Quick pause right here. If you have found this video genuinely useful, and if you have a friend, a spouse, a sibling, or a parent who you suspect is dealing with this silently, please share this video with them right now. Most people never talk about this. Most people suffer alone when they do not have to. One share from you could genuinely change someone's day. And while you're at it, a thumbs up lets me know to keep making videos like this one. Warning signs you must not ignore. Now, I need to pause and give you something that is equally important as everything we have covered. Because while the vast majority of stool retention is manageable at home, there are specific situations where this is no longer a home problem. It is a medical emergency. See a doctor promptly if you notice blood in the stool. Bright red blood may indicate hemorrhoids, common and usually not dangerous, but worth checking. Dark tarry blood mixed throughout the stool is a different matter entirely and requires urgent evaluation. New constipation that appeared suddenly, particularly after age 60. A change in bowel habit that is new, persistent, and unexplained is one of the early warning signs of colorectal cancer. This is not meant to alarm you. It is meant to motivate you to get checked. Caught early, colorectal cancer is among the most treatable cancers we know. Unexplained weight loss alongside constipation. This combination, without a change in diet or intentional effort, deserves prompt investigation. Severe abdominal pain, vomiting, or the complete inability to pass any gas. These symptoms together suggest a possible bowel obstruction, a true emergency. Do not manage this at home. Go to a hospital. A sensation that something is physically coming out of the body during straining. This may indicate rectal prolapse and requires proper evaluation by a gastroenterologist or colorectal surgeon. I share these not to create fear, but because I have watched people delay getting checked for months out of embarrassment. And some of them found something that, had they come in earlier, would have been far more manageable. Your comfort is important, your dignity is important, and your life is important. Please don't let embarrassment make medical decisions for you. The habits that make the biggest difference. Putting it all together, let me close the clinical section with something I want you to genuinely carry with you. The 6 strategies we covered: the footstool, morning warm liquids, the right fiber in the right form, post-ref movement, responding to the urge, and safe short-term relief options. These are not independent tips, they are a system. Each one supports the others. The footstool fixes the mechanical problem that most toilets create. Morning warm liquids trigger the reflex that sets your digestive tract in motion. Soluble fiber softens what is forming. Movement drives it forward. Responding to the urge ensures the rectal signals stay sharp. And knowing your safe relief options means you are never desperate. I have seen this combination turn years of chronic difficulty into comfortable daily regularity. Not in every case, but in enough cases that I believe most people sitting on the other side of this screen have significantly more control over this than they realize. Let me tell you about a patient I'll call Evelyn, 72 years old. She came to my clinic not to talk about her bowels. She was actually there for a blood pressure follow-up. But near the end of the visit, she mentioned almost as an afterthought that she hadn't had a comfortable bowel movement in over 2 years. 2 years. She had told no one. Not her husband, not her children. She had been managing silently with stimulant laxatives every few days and had come to accept that this was simply what getting older felt like. We walked through every item we discussed today. She was dehydrated, she had a low-fiber diet, she spent most of her day seated. She had been ignoring her body's signals for years because she felt she was too busy to deal with it, and she had never heard of the puberectalis muscle or why a footstool might matter. Within 6 weeks, she called the clinic to tell us she was going every morning comfortably and that she couldn't believe she had waited 2 years to have this conversation. The conversation is not embarrassing. The silence is the costly part. Here is what I want you to take from today. Stool stuck in the rectum is not just constipation. It has specific causes, specific mechanics, and specific solutions. Fix your posture with a footstool. Trigger the reflex with warm liquids every morning. Use soluble fiber first. Move your body after breakfast. Respond to every urge. And know your safe options when you need faster relief. But here is what we did not cover today, and what I believe is the next most important conversation for anyone watching this. The connection between rectal health and the pelvic floor muscles. Because for a meaningful percentage of seniors, especially women, no amount of fiber or hydration will resolve their stool problem. The issue lives in the muscles themselves, and that conversation is in my next video. I will see you there. If this video helped you today, please give it a thumbs up. It takes 2 seconds and it helps this channel reach more people who need this information. Share it with someone in your life. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, and leave a comment. Tell me your name, your age, and which strategy you are going to try first. I read every single one.